popular VTuber slash streamer Saikuno was recently exposed. Someone made a expose video on him, and I think we should take a look at it.
My girlfriend of 4 years has recently become obsessed with a male streamer, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. This was a post made on the subreddit r/relationship advice around the end of 2020. What was particularly shocking here is that barely just a few days after making that initial post, he'd end up breaking up with his girlfriend. Her obsession with that streamer was that irrational. And during that time, she wasn't the only one who might have felt this way. That's because the male streamer in question here was none other than Saikuno, a name and face that had become a core memory of the COVID-19 pandemic, more specifically when everyone was locked up in their homes. In the span of less than a year.
Well, me personally, I don't know Saikuno that well. I've seen him play Among Us a lot. I've seen him interact with offline TV, Pokemon, Lily Pichu, Disguised Toast, and all that. I mainly see him around offline TV and those people, Fusely, and he'd play Among Us. Yeah, he'd play Among Us, and he's gives off the shy boy vibes. He often covers her face and all that, and he really just gives off that awkward shy boy vibes to me. But let's see if this whole video talks about that.
He would go from having 1,000 average viewers on Twitch to 50,000, even having a stream where he peaked at over 100,000.
50,000. Oh my god.
What he'd be most known for was his gameplay of Among Us with his friends, who happened to be very big content creators as well. Not only would he get tens of thousands of concurrent viewers on Twitch, but he would get millions upon millions of views on his YouTube channel as well.
Offline TV.
And while his rise to fame is definitely incredibly impressive, what was truly unparalleled here is his extremely high ratio of female viewers.
Also, I love how offline TV is just purely Asian. Like, I love how offline TV is just one Moroccan who is Pokemon, and then everyone else is Asian. But I'm pretty sure they have another. I'm not sure if Valkyrie is part of offline TV, but I think they have another new member who is African American or Hispanic. I'm not sure, but I think there are new races coming in. But from what I know, offline TV is predominantly Asian, and which is very interesting.
Confirmed to having been higher than any of his other content creator friends. His handsome look, his anime sounding voice, and his witty jokes made women go rabid. In fact, there was also a joke that he would turn male fans gay. But what made him really desirable is just how socially awkward he was. He was innocent.
He is pretty socially awkward.
He was a boy failure that needed a woman to fix him. In a nutshell, he was this picture, almost allergic to other women. He just
allergic to women.
Anything romantic, he would get too flustered. This made many of his fans want to be the one to finally fix him. But make no mistake,
you say.
This was all a perfectly crafted image that he made for himself. He wanted you to think that he was innocent, naive, a boy failure, someone who's inexperienced in relationships and would never hurt a fly. Because in reality, behind this mirage, this illusion, there was a master manipulator, a serial manipulator, a predator. Someone who would
a predator? Oh my god, what are we witnessing here?
Content creators take full advantage of the fact that he was one of the most desirable men in the streaming world, all while making it seem like he had no experience with women and that it just might be romantic. They just might be that special someone who can fix him. What he would somehow forget to tell them, though, is that he had been in a monogamous relationship since 2021. But you don't have to take my word for it, because he admits to everything in a recorded voice call with the victim herself. And on top of that, that same victim, who goes by the name of Hemamal VT, would choose to write a Google Doc that shows the entire timeline, her and Saikuno's DMs together, as well as the DMs of another victim that actually slept with Saikuno while that he has been in a relationship since 2021. This might be one of the most impactful and longest running lies in content creation history. I want to thank the two victims in question for trusting me with this very heavy topic and for allowing me to make the first comprehensive
Not the Google Docs, not the sending money.
Let's get right.
Oh my goodness. What is going on?
So first off, who the hell is Saikuno? Well,
Like
before
Kuno?
starting his streaming career, he actually used to be a software engineer.
Software
working in
engineer?
the Bay Area of California.
Bay
His
Area?
monotonous
Oh my
office life
god.
would change forever though when he would meet Lily Pichu. a
Lily
well-known
Pichu.
content
I know
creator who
Lily
actually
Pichu.
started making content as far back as 2012. However, when they met, she was far from being the very well-known content creator that we know today. It was back during the Season 3 World Championship for League of Legends during the year of 2013, so barely a year into her content creator journey. Sykkuno would be aware of her content. He'd reach out to her and would want to meet her, seeing that they're both at the same place. Lily Pichu agreed, thinking, oh, am I about to meet a fan? That's awesome. She'd be absolutely shocked when that fan would show up with a massive bouquet of flowers. As she was about to thank him, he would run away back to his cousins. According to him, these were his only friends at the time. He was that lonely. He was simply
Lonely,
too
huh?
embarrassed to interact with her further. This interaction left a good impression on Lily Pichu, and they kept in touch for years to come. In fact, as she would start her streaming journey, she'd play with her friends, and one of those friends would be Sykkuno. Her viewers would start to express interest in him, especially seeing that his voice sounded like an anime character. There was genuine demand in
not the
community to
anime
know what
character
he looked
voice.
like. What they didn't know though was that Lily Pichu had already shown him. He was there with her when she went to Summoners Con 2015, and he was right there with her in her.
Damn, a hairstyle can really
Most of the
change a
community were
person,
simply not aware
huh?
of this. So seeing that
Look
there
at
was
him
no
right
demand
now.
to see what he looked like, they decided to do a face reveal live on Lily Pichu's stream around the year of 2019.
Yeah. You're such a. Oh, okay. Here we go. Wait, you're actually so much braver than I thought.
Only because you're here.
All right, I'm in extreme.
Why does he sound like
As you
that?
can
Why does
see,
he sound
the
like
chat
that?
was definitely not disappointed.
Why does he
In
sound like
Lily
that?
Pichu had such an impact on
What?
Sykkuno that she would be-
Hold on. Only cause you're here. I can't do that. Why can he do? Why does he have an anime voice? I want an anime voice. What? Why? That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Well, the main reason why he would start streaming, and you can hear him say that himself.
So what convinced you to start
Well,
streaming?
Oh, Lily actually.
And speaking of streaming, he would
I want an anime. Oh my god. I want an anime voice. That's not fair.
start doing so shortly after revealing his face on Lily Pichu's stream. He'd start in the beginning of 2019 with barely under 100 viewers, but as the months would go by, he would start to get very rapid growth. He would really start putting in serious hours by August 2019, and within just 1 year, by August 2020, he'd be sitting at 8,000 average viewers, reaching a peak of 15,000. But how? Why? Well, during his streams, he would continue playing with Lily Pichu, and seeing that Lily Pichu has a lot of big content creators.
Oh, so he's a Nepo
It
baby.
turned out that this guy was very easy to talk to. He was witty, he made jokes.
He's a
and
Nepo
really helped the
baby.
streamers
He's playing
actually
with all
enjoy
the
his
big
content.
guys.
All
That's
of
how
these
he gets
factors combined
popular.
would be the perfect catalyst for when the quarantine season
I
of
see how it is. I
2019
see how it
arrived.
is.
He would start to play the game Among Us with some of the biggest content creators on the planet. And
I see
within
how it
just
is.
4 months, he would go from 8,000 average viewers all the way up to 50,000 average viewers.
I see
Peaking
now.
100,000 viewers in
So
one
what I
stream.
should
He
do
was
is
getting
actually
500,000 followers
gain
every
my
single
followers
month.
from other
In
big
just
content
the span
creators.
of
I
a
see
year
how
and
it
a
is.
half,
I
he
see
had
how it
gone
is.
From being a mid-tier streamer to one of the biggest on the entire platform. It wasn't just Twitch though. He would be getting millions upon millions of views on his YouTube videos as well. He was killing it on every
That's
single
crazy.
platform
Millions
he was
of views
And so
on
by 2022, when
oh my
YouTube was
god.
aggressively recruiting Twitch streamers to stream on their platforms instead, offering them multi-million-dollar deals, they targeted Sykkuno, seeing that he's extremely brand friendly, has a very loyal audience, and had become a household name in such a short time. So on May 2nd, 2022, he would announce to the world that he was moving to YouTube on a 2-year exclusive contract. And as you can tell by the engagement, this post went viral. What I really want you to understand though is just how valuable he was seen by companies and platforms. Back when YouTube was aggressively recruiting talents,
Twitch matched YouTube's
Twitch,
offer?
in their confidence and hubris, seeing that they
He still
completely
chose
dominated the streaming
YouTube.
scene at the time, would never bother offering a counter offer. On
Interesting.
the very rare occasion that they did, it was a very big deal. And guess what? They made an exception to Sykkuno. They gave him a counter offer higher than YouTube. Sykkuno would go back to YouTube and show them Twitch's new offer, and YouTube would offer to pay even more. His contract alone is estimated to be around $5 million.
$5 million?
Sykkuno also had interests in other communities such as VTubers.
Bro.
In 2023, for an April
I cannot even imagine 5,000 US dollars. I cannot even 5,000 US dollars is beyond my comprehension. Like I have once had over 5,000 US dollars. But right now for me, I'm out of budget, uh, unemployed. Because of my condition, I'm unemployed. I financially rely on my family. So 5,000 US dollars is out of my imagination. And not to mention $5 million just to stream on a platform. Like, what the heck?
April Fool's joke, he would debut his first VTuber model, extending his reach to a new niche community. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because at some point he was invited to a call with the Senator Bernie Sanders alongside Valkyrae and Pokimane. And instead of showing his face, he chose to be a VTuber. This was so ridiculous and it went so viral that he inadvertently kind of became a spokesperson for VTubing in one stream. I mean, God, everyone wanted a piece of that guy. You would see him everywhere, collabing with everyone. And this was partly due to his very loyal and almost rabid fan base. But it was, of course, all by design. You see, back in 2023, Pokimane would make the very interesting revelation that Sykkuno had the highest female demographic fan base
Sykkuno has the highest female demographic fan base.
Compared to any other streamer, her included. She would compare his level of fame and the way his fans acted towards him to K-pop idols. He simply wasn't seen like the run-of-the-mill Twitch streamer. No, there was definitely more to this. And one of the main reasons why this worked out so well is because he was seen as a boy failure. No, not the kind of guy who's unemployed and lives in a dump and smells like shit. I'm talking about the ideal boy failure. The guy who's handsome, smells nice.
Let me look at this. Boy failure, dark eye circle, cheap haircut, rebel, 6 figures, but too lazy to wear anything but sweatpants, wrists, has 6-pack abs and is really tall for some reason, free shirt from Comic-Con. Boy failure, this is my first time. Is it kind of like a loser type of vibe? Like a boy loser or a girl loser? Like, I can understand. Girl losers are pretty attractive. Like, man, I want myself a girl loser. I know I can fix her. But a boy loser, this is my first time hearing about it. Is a boy failure like just awkward and shy around girls, but is like attractive? Is that what a boy failure is? I don't.
Doesn't live in a dump, but is instead just a hopeless romantic. Someone who turns all red when you want to initiate physical contact. The most innocent, naive soul imaginable.
So an innocent, naive, shy boy. Is that what all girls want? Like, I mean, I myself, hey, I may not be shy or naive or innocent, but I'm a hopeless romantic. Hey, if you're looking for a hopeless romantic, hit me up. You know what I'm talking about. Don't worry. Seriously, I really do need relationship advice, and I need somebody in my life. I do. Okay. Anyways, let's continue.
The appeal of a boy failure isn't necessarily that he's a failure. It's the fact that he's perfect, but just needs one person to fix him. And that's how a significant chunk of his fan base felt. If you've watched my channel before, then it's not too different from a girl failure that has a male audience that wants to fix her. It's the same parasocial mess. This can be very easily seen in some of the most viral fan-made videos of Sykkuno, like this one for example, sitting at over 3 million views. Sykkuno tells his trauma about girls. Sykkuno trusts his friend, Disguised Toast, more than the girls. So this guy had barely any romantic experience, and yet still, he had his heart broken.
I mean, I have zero romantic experience, and I also had my heart broken. I confessed to one girl, I got rejected, had a mental breakdown, started to take medications. I fell in love with another girl, but I never confessed and got my heart broken. And kind of happened another time and took even more meds, and right now I am on the most amount of medication I can be on. I am on whatever Lexapro and whatever you can imagine. I'm on all of that, and I'm on very high dosage. And I'm also on a lot of sleeping meds. So like right now, I'm just drugged. I'm a very drugged person. I rely on medications to survive. Yeah. So yeah, technically, I am also in a way a boy failure. Yeah. If you're wondering why I'm always looking at the left, it's because my OBS is on the left side. So I like to look at myself in the screen, but yeah, I could also look to the front. But like, if you're looking for a boy failure and a hopeless romantic, and someone who has trauma with women, then hey, you're looking at the right person. Yes, you can manipulate me anytime you want, girl. Just kidding, just kidding. Please do not manipulate me, or do not love bomb me, or do not play games with me. Please, I just want somebody. Thank you. Let's keep watching the video. Thank you.
He needs a woman that will fix him and tell him it'll be okay. And maybe she'll be one of his fans. If only he knew how handsome and amazingly desirable he was, though. Because he's another fan-made video. Everyone's simping for Sykkuno because who doesn't? I mean, God, if only he wasn't a boy failure and understood how smooth he was with women. But he's too naive. Because guess what? This video, sitting at over 4 million views, is titled Sykkuno being smooth with girls for 14 minutes. Yeah, I think you get the point by now, right? This image of him that was so carefully crafted would attract a very large female audience. It would also allow him to be one of the only male streamers to constantly be able to hang out with a majoritarily female friend group without him or them getting in trouble with their fan bases due to jealousy. The guy was innocent, allergic to love, and he wouldn't hurt a single fly. This allowed him to do things that other male content creators could never do. Like, dude, this is him sniffing the armpit of Fuslie at some point during a podcast when they were talking about body odor. This is how much he was trusted around women. And even though his audience was very obsessed over him, they saw him as so awkward, so incapable of understanding what love or social cues mean, that this was fine. They didn't mind because they were going to...
Dog, till this day, I still don't know what love is. You know, I see love everywhere. As much as I want to say love does not exist, as much as I want to say love is made up, it's made up by media and it doesn't exist. I have to admit, love probably does exist because so many people have fallen in love. That's why we exist, because people fall in love and have children. But for me, I have never ever experienced love. Just like I've never seen air before, but I still believe air exists. I've never seen love, never experienced love, but I must admit, I have to believe that love exists, even though I've never experienced it myself. So yeah, just yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I have to say all this, but yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Whatever.
be the ones to fix him anyway. So it comes as no surprise that yes, some relationships literally ended over the girl's obsession over him. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if some gay relationships ended because of the same reason too. He was just that much of a sensation, and that crafted image he built around himself was just so believable and convincing. And so he'd keep on doing what he's always done, and after his 2-year contract with YouTube would finally end during May 2024, he would make his grand comeback to Twitch, peaking at over 26,000 viewers. However, his viewer count would slowly begin to drift. And by April 2026, he'd be sitting at 1,665 average viewers, a far cry from the peak of the pandemic back at 50,000. He'd also stopped collabing with larger content creators as much as he used to, mostly sticking to himself. But hell, I mean, 1,600 average viewers is still very easy to make a living off of. He had made his millions of dollars, had this incredibly obsessive fan base.
Yeah,
as far as content creators
that's a lot.
Go, this really wasn't so bad. The guy was a multi-millionaire.
Multi-millionaire, like, bro.
Is that for many years, since becoming a viral sensation, he would use his status as Sykkuno, as the most desirable streamer imaginable, as this K-pop idol, to pursue relationships with smaller or up-and-coming content creators, whether they be cosplayers or VTubers, manipulating them into thinking that they were special, all in the hopes of
cosplayers and VTubers
being in a monogamous relationship.
This guy has a type. This guy has a type.
The real Sykkuno.
The real Sykkuno.
We finally have proof.
We have proof. We have proof.
VT, who I'll refer to as Mal from now on, is someone who has been making content for the last year. She occasionally streams from time to time, but also tends to post cosplays on her Twitter profile, some of them being revealing. Those revealing cosplays would catch Sykkuno's attention, and he'd follow her on Valentine's Day of 2026. Within barely a few days, he would start talking about how they should move in together into the same house, all while having a girlfriend. When Mal would find out about the girlfriend, she would decide to write a Google document. The The Google document would contain Mal's side of the story as well as Elfie Leah's side of the story. Another VTuber who, of course, also posts cosplays from time to time, which is why Sykkuno was interested in her to begin with. She also had no idea that Sykkuno had a girlfriend and would meet up with him during December 2025 in Paris when he would travel for a convention.
I love how these VTubers all have amazing Twitter accounts, a lot of tags, a lot of hashtags, a lot of links, a lot of ats, and a lot of followers. While if you look at my Twitter account, it's just me reposting some shit posts and then me sharing identity 5 pics. I don't know. This could change. This could change. If you're watching this video, maybe my Twitter is brand new. Who knows? Who knows?
Like Maldo, she would actually end up sleeping with Sykkuno. Again, completely
She
oblivious
slept
that
with
he has a
Sykkuno.
girlfriend. They would both share their stories and the DMs with Sykkuno in the Google document. This document would be 32 pages long, and it would detail both of their experiences with Sykkuno, leading up to the revelation of the fact that he has a girlfriend, as well as a link to the full 17-minute YouTube video in which Mal would confront Sykkuno about cheating on his girlfriend with her. Here's how it would start off. On Valentine's Day of this year, I was followed on Twitter by Sykkuno. I thought it was amazing that such a big content creator even knew I existed, let alone followed me on social media. He had been my role model and someone I looked up to for a long time, ever since my days in high school. However, what I learned about Sykkuno after that day would make me regret my decision. Sykkuno is not the kind, soft-spoken character you see on stream. He is a serial cheater.
Serial cheater, liar, and manipulator.
As many women as possible.
Oh my goodness.
Specifically, ones who are smaller or up-and-coming content creators, knowing that he can take advantage of them.
Oh my
After
god.
confiding in many others that have had similar experiences with Sykkuno, I realized that this was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was something that had been going on for multiple years. He always made sure to cover his tracks and never left a paper trail significant.
Honestly, if this were, imagine if the gender were switched. Imagine if an up and coming VTuber content creator like me were taken advantage of by a big female content creator. That would be nice. Okay, just kidding, just kidding. Nah, just kidding. Let's keep watching.
Enough for someone to make this public, but now this has all changed. These are serious allegations, and I fully understand that this should not be treated lightly. I urge all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno's behavior to not remain silent, as I believe that there is strength in numbers. This document will not only include proof from me, but from another victim who has given me her consent as well. Below, you will find evidence that will expose this calculated pattern of love bombing and manipulation, as well as a recording of a voice call where he explicitly admits to all his wrongdoings, everything. Alright, so already this is one hell of an intro to the document, right? One thing I want to point out is the urging of all other content creators who have been personally affected by Sykkuno to come out about this. As I already mentioned, there are many people who were affected by his actions throughout the years. In fact, if Sykkuno traveled to any expo or convention or event, then you can bet a hefty sum of money that he always had someone there who he flew out, hoping that he could bring them to his hotel room. Anyway, the next section of the document would be titled, Our First Conversation. After Valentine's Day, I was so excited about him following me that I told a friend, who then urged me to strike up a conversation. I finally worked up the courage to send him a DM, and he replied right away. So here we can see on the 15th of February, Mal would send, "Are you still looking for a Valentine's date perhaps?" To which Sykkuno would say, so innocently, "What? You can't just open up with something like that? And besides, Valentine's Day is almost over where I'm from already." To which she would reply with, "I mean, we can always do a Valentine's Day do-over, you know?" In the same first conversation, he brought up what kind of games he liked to play and invited me to play with him after a convention. On the left image, we can see them discussing sleep schedules, right? Understanding what time it is for her, what time it is for him. And on the right image, we can see him say, "What games do you like to play? I'm like a massive game player. That's usually how I meet people or make friends, to be honest." In the next couple of images, we can see Sykkuno talk about the game he was playing, which was Outlast Trials, saying that maybe Mal could carry him. She would agree, give him her Discord, and then wonder, "Hey, are you done soon with your stream? Because I'm getting tired." She hadn't slept all night. She was pulling an all-nighter. He'd apologize for taking so long, and then he'd say that he has a convention to go to. So after making her wait for like a few hours, he would say, "Hey, listen, can we just play tomorrow? I have a convention to go to." And they would agree, "Okay, let's play after the convention." This is what would lead us to the next section. Interesting where I live. For context, this is still the same day as the first conversation, only moved to Discord and a few hours apart since I'm EU time zone and he's US time zone. So yeah, these DMs have the timestamp of 10 a.m. EU time. The last DMs we can see on Twitter were at 9 a.m. So this is barely an hour later after they added each other. Mal would continue by
Interest
saying,
in where
"Things
I
started out
live.
innocently enough with him inquiring about fun things to do
Interesting.
near where I live,
Interesting.
such as aquariums and conventions. TwitchCon EU specifically. I'd like to point out that I said we could go on a date to make up for Valentine's. He not once expressed to me any discomfort or that he wasn't single. So yeah, this is how it goes. If someone expresses interest in you, right, you typically tell them fairly quickly that you're already in a committed relationship. You don't just let things slide. Mal had no reason to think that Saikuno was already taken. Otherwise, he would have said something after she proposed a date. He'd ask, "Did they have an aquarium? I'm a big fan of aquariums." She'd say, "There's artists in Amsterdam. Could make it a date, you know, to make up for Valentine's." He'd only reply with, "A what? Lol?" Continuing on with his innocent persona, but he'd never say, "Oh, no, actually, wait, like, I want to meet up as friends."
Okay, so he's just
I'm actually in
cheating.
a relationship."
He's just cheating
Not
because he
once.
already
The
has a
next section will be
girlfriend.
titled, "Following my private Instagram." He would also follow my personal private Instagram that is only available to my IRL friends and family while using his official Saikuno account.
That's
So the
crazy.
image of Saikuno follow
I don't think you should ever follow a private account with a public account. That's like, yeesh. That's like kind of crazy if you ask me. That's like, oof. I don't even know about it. I don't even know, man. That's like,
following her with her personal account name being hidden since it's personal. The next section will be titled "Making Plans to Meet Me in Person." So bear in mind, this was the next day, okay, the 16th of February. They had started talking on the 15th. He followed her on the 14th. The document would say, "In this 2-hour Discord gaming call, the same day as our first conversation, Saikuno made plans."
15-year age gap between.
As Dokumi 2026, since he was flying over anyway to attend TwitchCon EU. Going to the aquarium would be our first date. I also learned that there is a 15-year age gap between us. Right, so look, I personally spoke to the victim about this. I asked, like, would that usually have been like a red flag or a turnoff? She said yes. But the thing is, this is Saikuno we're talking about here, right? So she made an exception, because as you saw in the intro of this document, she used to watch him in high school. She genuinely looked up to him. To say that she was starstruck was an understatement, and that's exactly what he was counting on. Now, while keeping that 15-year age gap in mind, this next section definitely hits different. It's titled, "Making Plans to Move In Together." These
Already
messages would be
moving
on
in.
the 17th of
Already
February,
moving in.
2 days after they started talking. It would say,
Jesus
"With
Christ.
Saikuno, our relationship moved so incredibly fast, it almost felt like a dream. It was like he could make anything I wanted happen. And as someone as prolific and successful as him, I had no reason to doubt anything he said to me. These screenshots show that Saikuno and I were intending to adopt a cat and have me possibly move into his house. I told him we couldn't get a cat yet due to me not being a US citizen and possibly having visa issues."
2 days after the conversation.
2 days after.
2 days and they're already planning to move together.
DMs, we can see them talking about pets in general, right? About how he might be allergic to certain pets, about how his current dog doesn't trigger his allergies. So they start discussing the prospect of getting a cat. Mal would say, "I mean, if I'm there anyways, we'll have to think of a name, no?" To which Saikuno would say, "Yeah, but I don't know if I can take care of it myself." Mal would say, "Or were you just gonna name it Cat?" He'd say, "You'll have to stay to help take care of it, lol." To which she'd say, "I'm okay with that, though I don't know how that would work with me staying there. I can't stay forever either, you know, because I'm not an American citizen and I'll also probably have to go back as well. Because I mean, I hope at least that I can go back to studying end of this year. And like in general, everything is so expensive." And then he'd say, "Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe we can get a cat together another time then. Besides, don't you already have a cat?" Which she'd say, "Yeah, but they're my dad's. Also, did you finally order the food?" And he'd say, "Oh, I see. So you wouldn't have to bring them if you just moved somewhere." To which she'd say, "No, I guess not though. I'd miss them so much, so I definitely have to get new pets." So barely a couple days after speaking to each other, Saikuno's out here discussing getting a pet together, taking care of it, raising it together, looking into the possibility of her maybe moving in together with him one day. This was as
Damn,
he was sharing
Saikuno is
a
actually
home
love
with
bombing.
his
Is
girlfriend.
this what
The
love
next
bombing
section
is?
titled "Lying About Being Single and Dating History." In this screenshot, Saikuno said he has only ever had one relationship his entire life. I would eventually find out that that was a lie and that he had been dating and living in the same house as his girlfriend for years, and that I was not the only girl on the internet that he spoke to on a daily basis. So here we can see DMs of them discussing this topic. Mal would say, "I mean, you've been in relationships before. It's not like it's your first relationship," referencing what they might potentially have going on. To which he'd reply with, "I don't know, lol. I've only like actually dated someone once and they broke up with me, so yeah, I think I'm just not very good, so it's probably just a me issue." To which he'd say, "Did you like never do anything for your ex, like at all?" To which he'd say, "I mean, I think I did. I don't think she thought I did, so yeah. But I mean, everyone has their own way of what they want, so it's important to be like, are you getting what you want? And if you're not, I totally understand." Mal, of course, would want to inquire as to what he was saying. Like,
Oh,
what
she
do you
wants to
think?
know what he's done
What?
for his
He'd never
ex.
specify, and he'd always keep it vague, keeping up this persona that he crafted, the one that was allergic to love, that had no idea like what was going on with women. This would lead us right into the next section titled sexting.
Sexting.
We sexted every single day, and these interactions would be charged with flirting and suggestive topics. I would send him suggestive pictures and audios, and he would confirm that he'd touch himself to them. Additionally, he'd always act flustered and inexperienced, keeping up the illusion of his on-stream innocent persona. We'd also regularly talk about date ideas and things we'd like to do together in the future when we'd meet up IRL. Topics that are usually discussed between two adults who are clearly romantically interested in each other. On top of texting, we also called almost every single day, even after he'd stream for over 8 hours. We'd talk and play games regularly. One thing I'd noticed is that every time we called and when he spoke, he'd be whispering and never fully use his voice. His excuse was that it's because he was tired after a long stream, and I didn't really find that to be suspicious. Using your voice for 8 hours in a row does exhaust it after all. I now realize that he was quiet because his girlfriend lived with him and he didn't want her to.
Okay, basically he's cheating.
So this first set of
Basically he's
DMs,
cheating.
we can see them discussing things to watch together. Saikuna saying, let's watch something. Mal would say we should. He would say, let's watch a cooked Netflix dating show because those are funny, or both. And Mal would say we should. And do you also want to play games like Helldivers or Overwatch or etc.?
I want to
Next
play
image, we can see them
Overwatch.
discussing the
I wanna play
spicy
Overwatch.
audio that she sent him at some point. He'd say, you do too. She would say, yeah, like in that audio recording I sent you, to which he would act flustered over and say, huh? Oh my God. Well, yes, you really sounded cute in that too. To which she would say, did you ever re-listen to it or only that once? In the next screenshot, we can see them discussing going on a gym date. Mal expressed to him how much she enjoys going to work out at the gym, and so Saikuno would inquire about what a gym date looks like. This is when they discuss it more. In the next two set of DMs, we can see them talking about more spicy topics. Mal would say, you get flustered so easily. And then Saikuno would say, because I'm not. I've never done like this kind of thing before, lol. To which she would say, and? You don't like
My
it? To which he
XP
said,
bar
"Because
is
I'm
low.
not. Like, I haven't really dated much, so." And then Mal would say, so? You have me now. He'd reply with, my XP bar is low, but no, I do it. I've never.
My
done something like this
XP
before.
bar is
Yes,
low, guys. This is the new way of saying it. You just say my XP bar is low. If Saikuno's XP bar is low, if his XP bar is low, my XP bar is negative. I have negative experience because I tried, I got rejected. I didn't even try. Still got my heart broken. Barely tried, still got my heart broken. So it's like I'm putting in like let's say I'm putting in one effort and I'm getting like negative 10 out of it. So technically, if Saikuno's XP bar is low, my XP bar is negative. Okay, like I'm just saying this might be the new line. Just say, guys, my XP bar is low. My XP bar is low.
It's so good. I can't wait to use it later. As in, I can't wait to grill my sausage to it later, whatever she sent. To which she would reply with, you know, I've kind of wondered if you've ever touched yourself while watching what I send you. To which he'd say, what? Why would you wonder that? She'd say, well, because they're spicy pictures and videos. Of course, I wonder if you put them to use. And then he'd say, I'll definitely put this one to use. She'd say, so you've never done so before? And then he would say, maybe in all caps with a flustered sweating emoji. This is when she'd put her foot down and say, I want a yes or no. And then he would say, yes, of course I have. How could I not? Overall, these DMs were a balance of spicy and wholesome, just like what you'd expect when two people are romantically interested in each other, saying goodnight to each other, inquiring on their health.
I mean, sexting is like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to reveal too much, but friends can sex each other too. Just I'm just putting that out there. Friends can flirt with each other. Friends can text each other. Just putting that out there because I know that for a fact. I know that is true. I've seen it. I know that is true. So, so far, I think, you know, just saying, but the fact that Saikuno already asked, I mean, I don't, I don't know, like, you know, I don't know to which extent a friend becomes a lover, but, yeah, you know, you're asking the wrong person. I'm the wrong person to be reacting, to be judging this video, but you know, I don't even believe in love. I don't think love is real. Love has never happened to me. Therefore, I don't believe in it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying, friends can flirt with each other. friends can be show love, friends can be text each other. There's this thing called friends with benefits. So what really uh con- constitutes contributes, I don't know what the word is, but what really makes a relationship a relationship? That is, you got to determine the relationship. You got to DTR. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you ever do anything silly, you always got to DTR first. You always got to DTR. And even if you DTR, the person can lie. So I don't know, guys. I cannot give any love advice. If you're asking me, me giving love advice um is like me giving Genji advice because I don't even play Genji. So I cannot give you any good advice. My advice are probably terrible, I can give Lucy advice. If you want Lucy advice, I can give you Lucy advice. But if you want a good relationship advice from a relationship coach, do not ask me. Okay, I I have nothing. I have nothing.
He'd compliment her on her appearance. She'd say, I love getting compliments from you. Good morning, handsome. What are you up to? But this romantic interest wouldn't just be expressed with words. No, for Saikuno, he'd make sure to express it financially, too. This is what would lead us to the next section, titled Sugar Daddy. Less than a month later, Saikuno would randomly ask for my PayPal account in DMs. He'd then waste no time in sending me money unprompted, something that I'd later realize was simply a behavioral pattern that he'd employ with women he'd express interest in. I want to reiterate that I have never asked him for his money, and he did this of his own volition. He bought me both a gym jacket, linked below, and Resident Evil 9, because I had expressed interest in that game. Here we can see two payments, the first one sent on the 28th of February.
So he's a sugar daddy now, huh? He's a sugar daddy.
On the 5th of March 2026. The sender was the business, Saikuno. He didn't.
Damn, how much is 200 euros? I'm assuming it's like a lot. I'm assuming it's like 200 USD. Sounds a lot. I don't know.
For a PayPal username on the 28th of February. He'd start off the conversation with, you still aren't asleep either? To which she'd say, I fell asleep, woke up again because I'm having trouble sleeping. He would then say, oh, well, good morning. And what's your PayPal so I can buy you games later? She'd say, huh? Straight to the point. Jesus, I need to update my email to my PayPal because it's my old name from before I rebranded. When he would send her money for a gym jacket, at some point she'd say, want me to send it back? To which he'd say, no, I wanted you to get a nice gym vest, lol. Especially because it seems like you're really passionate about working out, so I thought it'd be nice. And then you can remember me when you're wearing it. I thought it was a...
God, I need these cute Discord, if you can't see. I need these cute Discord stickers. Let me show you. This one. Yeah, I need these cute Discord stickers. Somebody help me.
Cute idea. She'd buy one, she'd wear it, she'd send it to him, and she'd say, I wore it with the green set because I know how much you like green. She'd also make a tweet on her account while wearing it, saying, this gym jacket is literally so comfy, the muscle mommy arc will be real. So up until this point, this was Mal's experience with Saikuno. The next section is titled, A Calculated Pattern of Love Bombing and Manipulation.
That's what I'm saying. He's love bombing. He's love bombing.
And this is where we talk about Elphilia's side of the story. The document would say, after speaking to Elphilia a few days ago, we were able to corroborate our experiences with Saikuno and learned that we were both victims of this. We had no idea that he was talking to both of us at the same time. Saikuno is known to send hundreds of dollars to the girls he wants to get involved with. This screenshot is from when he took my friend Elphilia to Paris during the 2025 TFT tournament, along with sending her 500 euros to help her move into her new apartment. You can clearly see that this was sent from his business email's PayPal account. So unlike the other image that was supplied by Mal, here we can clearly see this is Saikuno at home.
Wait, I wanna... Man, if only I had a sugar mommy. Wait, do I want a sugar mommy? I mean, if I could... Wait, this is worth thinking. This is worth thinking about. Do I want a sugar mommy? I mean, if it's a sugar mommy that I don't need to put in real feelings into, if it's a sugar mommy that I just have to like text and then be like, hey, I love you too, if I could, man, that like, yeah, that could be a job. Like I could be a... You know what? That doesn't sound very good. I'll just be a VTuber. Whatever. I'm a fallen angel. Remember, I'm not here for no sugar daddy, sugar mommy stuff. Okay, I have my pride. Okay.
Hotmail.com sending her all this money, a substantial amount, around 1,550 euros, all under his business email. Here are the DMs in which we can see that he offered to pay for her flight to TFT Paris as well as all the food and hotel fees there, pretty much taking care of her financially during the entire trip. So this starts off as far back as April 2025, with Sykkuno telling Elphilia, I'm probably going to Paris later this year for sure, I'm not sure on TwitchCon yet, I'm afraid I don't know enough people. He'd say, you should come to Paris when I go to it, is it close? To which she'd say, Paris is pretty easy to go to, yeah, since it's in the European Union. He'd say, you better hang out then when I go there. She'd reply with, I'll have to see because I know nothing and no one there and it's expensive. To which he would say, I'll pay for it, don't worry. She'd say, whoa, really? You do that? And then he'd say, yeah, of course, and all the food. She'd of course be ecstatic about this and say, you'd have to deal with my annoying ass though. And he would say, but you gotta choose places to eat, like the restaurants. And she'd say, deal. One day later, he'd reiterate, you're fine, you never have to pay for anything, don't worry, lol. How much is the flight usually from Netherlands to Paris and back? Because she lived in the Netherlands at the time. I think I'm going for like a TFT tournament or something like that. On the 10th of December 2025, we can see her saying, I'm boarding now, see you soon, to which he would reply with, see you soon, you have the hotel info, right? Since they were going to share a room. This brings us to the next section titled Elphilia's Experience. Elphilia would talk to Sykkuno on and off for the span of 5
years! 5 years without knowing that he had a girlfriend? 5 years? This went on for 5 years? Imagine wasting I mean, you're in good hands. You're being taken care of for 5 years. You're in good hands. But knowing that you were never the first choice, knowing that you're the cheater that cheated with Sykkuno, it's not a good feeling, man. Knowing that you wasted 5 years of your life, 5 years of your life being cheated on, like, not a good feeling, not a good feeling, and especially with such a big streamer, man.
Years. During that time, she had absolutely no idea that he had a girlfriend in the 5 years that she had known him, and on and off flirted with him. Anytime she would bring up the topic of his love life, he would give the response of playing too many games and not going out enough to meet women to date. So bear in mind, she knew him since like 2021.
Wait, this is me though. Wait, this is me though. Well, I don't play too many games. I'm just like in my room. So like, you know how like they say it's like you need to put yourself out there to meet a girl. Dog, I don't put myself out there. Like I've got like, I'm, again, like I said, I'm heavily drugged. I'm best staying in my room, and that's why streaming and making content is my creative outlet, my way of expressing myself to the world, to put myself out there. If I can't physically bring myself out to a club, to a pub, to a whatever it's called, this is my way, being a content creator, a streamer, or this is my way of putting myself out there. I do this too much. I don't go outside enough to meet a woman today. This is quite literally my situation. So I do have my ideal dream partner. No, I don't have it, but I have a dream of it. But we will see. We shall see how that will come true. But right now, I have 4 subscribers. I don't expect much. You know, I don't even know who's watching this video. But anyways.
Back when he was like the most desired man on the entirety of Twitch or the streaming space. And even with all that flirting, he never once mentioned the relationship he's been in since 2021. So this was in the beginning of his relationship as well. So in this next set of DMs, we can see Elphilia saying, also, I have a question for you. Why are you single? Like, how? To which he'd say, huh? That's a crazy question, lol. I think it's a combination of like playing too many games. To which she'd say, why crazy? Why is it a crazy question? The guy was desired by anyone. Even after his viewership had fallen down a little bit, he could still DM anyone and get them to date him. It didn't make sense. The document would say, same calculated behavior and patterns, using his nerdy gamer boy facade to lure women.
Oh, nerdy gamer boy.
In this next set of DMs, Elphilia would be saying, you're cute. You're this sweet to all girls, or am I just lucky? To which he'd say, wah, lol, only to the ones I think are cool. So as we can see, Elphilia is just starstruck. She can't believe this. She feels
Elphilia,
so lucky.
Elphilia.
The guy who's desired by everyone.
She has completely fallen for him.
In the world. This is the effect he had on people, and he knew this. And just like with Mal, he would follow her personal Instagram with his official Sykkuno Instagram page. It's genuinely like a deja vu to what he did with Mal. Like, it's the same patterns. The guy had a playbook, and he knew how to put it to use. The document would continue. Here is proof that Sykkuno was in Paris for the TFT event around this time too, directly from his Twitter. So here you can see this was posted around the 13th of December 2025 when he was in Paris. In this first tweet on the left, we can see him taking an image of Lily Pichu, who was also there, as well as him retweeting one of TFT's tweets saying, "Ultimate bragging rights have been secured at the TFT Paris Open." This is them announcing that Saikuno's team had won, confirming that he was indeed there. The next page of the document would show us a set of DMs between Saikuno and Elfilia. The date would be the 3rd of March, 2026. So this would be 3 months after they had met up and hooked up. And this would be as he was talking with Mal. He'd say, "Oh my god, I was playing World of Warcraft. I saw this player. It reminded me of you." That's because that player had a similar looking name. She'd say, "Oh, you got reminded of me? That's cute." To which he'd say, "Of course. Oh, I was going to ask, were you planning on going to like Off-Kai or anything?"
What the hell is Off-Kai? Like, I know offline, is it like offline TV plus Ray Kai, the streamer, Off-Kai?
Like that? That's a VTuber Expo, right? To which she would say, "I wish."
Oh, that's a VTuber Expo. Okay, I'm sorry.
But unfortunately I can't. My rent is now 800 euros per month and I'm living fully off of my savings, so I canceled all my travels for the year. The document would say, to add even more salt to the wound, after Elfilia's Paris trip, and 2 weeks after he had started talking to me, saying things like how he wants to move in with me and such, he would message Elfilia asking her if she'll be at Off-Kai. This is proof that he'd be talking to more than one woman at the same time, planning a hookup for every event he went to. He was doing this while giving me the impression that he wanted something long-term, and all while also having a girlfriend since 2021. Elfilia and I weren't friends until I found out that he was cheating on his girlfriend. This is when we both got in contact with each other and shared our stories. She deserves the world. This section would end with both Saikuno and Elfilia talking about random topics, and then at the end of this DM chain, we can see Saikuno saying, "How was your day?" To which she would reply with, "Awful. Spent the whole day crying. Crying right now. Why do some men cheat? I'll never understand." The document points out that this is ironic, seeing that Saikuno is a cheater himself. So as you can see, when these two women spoke to each other and shared their stories, they were shocked. Shocked to know that they were being used so casually, and shocked to know that this man was in a relationship. But how is it that he did this for years with no consequences? How is it that there are many Elfilias and Mals out there?
Yeah,
with no one
how?
saying a thing?
How?
Well, they kind of did, which is what the next section is all about. It's titled Rumors and Broken Friendships. As I mentioned in the intro, no one made a public statement before because they never had sufficient evidence. Saikuno would always talk about the most explicit and sensitive topics in voice calls or in person, never leaving a paper trail. This was all intentional. Rumors still managed to spread. Many content creators, both big and small, would vent to their friends about his behavior. Behind the scenes for many, he'd be known as a predator who regularly took advantage of
Predator, huh?
vulnerable content creators. The reason why Saikuno would abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of this predatory behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim, making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. As Elfilia spoke with Saikuno, she'd tell him about rumors that she had heard from someone else, about how Saikuno had a roster of readily available women, and how they all coincidentally were smaller content creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong. Elfilia, of course, didn't believe this. After all, Saikuno had a calculated pattern.
Damn, Saikuno probably does have a roster.
Demeanor wouldn't dare hurt
Damn,
a fly,
imagine.
so why would he hurt me?
Imagine having
So
a
we get to the
roster.
ends between
Like,
Elfilia and Saikuno.
I
She
can't.
would start this off with saying, "I don't know, he said he dislikes
I-
you," referencing a friend of hers.
I-
And
I-
that you
I
only
can't
go for girls
imagine.
that are small so you can manipulate them with your shy persona. Yet he is doing that to my friend right now. To which Saikuno would say, "Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think that's true, but I guess people will say stuff randomly. I'm confused as to these people who think I'm going for them. I haven't really done that. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, like I said before, people who know me will know me, and I guess he just dislikes me, which is totally fine." She'd say, "Exactly. He did say the only reason you haven't gotten called out is because you go after small creators and they'll never expose you. If you ever need proof of anything, I have receipts, just in case he tries anything funny." Saikuno would say, "Oh, I feel like the way VTubers are, they would love to try and expose bigger streamers. They love drama, lol. But it's not true, so I think it's fine. I don't need receipts or anything, it's fine. But I thought he was chill. I'm kind of sad he was so angry." Elfilia would say, "I know, just making sure you stay safe no matter what, love." Saikuno would continue saying, "I mean, why is he bringing..."
Not the love. Not the love. No matter what love. No matter what, dear. See, I have experience with this. I have experience with all of this. And let's just say I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
Up so much anyway though. To which she'd say, "He's jealous of you. I'm just playing League with him and he brought you up out of the blue." To which he'd say, "I don't think there's much to be jealous of, lol. But hopefully he feels better soon." And Elfilia ends this by saying, He said you hurt 5 of his friends, apparently. So this was on the 22nd of December after they had...
5 of his friends?
No reason to doubt him, right? She still had no idea that he had a girlfriend since 2021. This is why she was still so readily siding with him. And speaking of cheating, this is what would lead us to the section, Saikuno's girlfriend. The coincidence that would lead me to finding out the truth about Saikuno happened last week. A popular male VTuber tried to slide into my DMs to presumably get in my pants, and when I rejected him, he immediately started to mention nasty rumors about Bao. Out of concern for her, I reached out to a mod who then connected me with Bao. The 3 of us struck up a conversation when I mentioned I was nervous about a date I was going on. They asked me who it was. When I said my date was with Saikuno, they immediately told me not to go on the date for my own personal safety. Bao told me that at the end of March, Saikuno's girlfriend reached out to her regarding a controversial tweet Bao made last year in 2025. She asked Bao if it was true that the tweet was about Saikuno. So this tweet in question, right, if you were on Twitter back in October 2025, you would have probably seen it. It went absolutely viral, and it simply just said, if you're an up-and-coming female content
Oh my
with a
god.
small but growing audience and a
Bao
much larger
is
successful
trying
male
to
content
expose
creator approaches you out of nowhere and
Saikuno.
showers you with attention,
Oh my
streaming,
goodness.
DMs, etc., don't walk.
Oh my goodness.
Run. To
Bao.
99% of people. This was Bao giving smaller content creators very well needed advice. In
Holy
reality,
smokes.
though, this was a subtweet directly referencing Saikuno's behavior.
Holy
Because the document
smokes.
would continue, they called, as in Bao and Saikuno's girlfriend, and Bao explained to her that other women had confided in her about similar experiences with him. She described a pattern of behavior where he targeted small female content creators and pressured them into having sex with him. Bao then offered to connect her with these other victims so they could share their experiences with her directly, as she felt it was important to hear them firsthand. This was all discussed during a Discord call. And so here we can see a DM sent by Saikuno's girlfriend on March 24, 2026 to Bao saying, "Hey Bao, I'm sorry to bother you with this, but I heard something recently that was a bit concerning and I thought I would just come ask you about it. I heard that there was possibly an instance of Saikuno trying to get VTuber girls up to his hotel room to drink with them.
Damn,
And
the
that
girl
tweet you made
finding
about being
out.
cautious of large male streamers showering you with gifts and attention was about him in regards to him doing it to one of your friends?" You know, before we get back to the document, this actually reminds me of this one tweet that was posted on Twitter back in October 21st, 2025 during TwitchCon North America, where an innocent fan came across Saikuno in the lobby of a hotel at 2 a.m. One can only wonder what he was doing there. But as you can see, rumors are very easy to spread once you spot someone in a hotel lobby at 2 a.m. The document would continue. Bao told me that 3 days before I contacted her and her mod, Saikuno and his girlfriend were trying to reconcile after Saikuno somehow managed to convince her that it was all a huge misunderstanding. She had no clue that I, as well as many other girls, still existed in Saikuno's romantic
and sexual
Bao
life.
and my mod would put me in a group chat with Saikuno's girlfriend where I would share all the screenshots you see above. She was rightfully horrified and left the group chat because she couldn't stomach reading them. This is where we can see DMs in the group chat from Saikuno's girlfriend saying, "I have lived with him for over 2 years. We have been together since
Oh my
2021.
goodness. Oh
And
my
on top of
goodness.
that, everything he's planning
Shared
are
experience.
things we have
Shared
planned together and
experience.
talk about and have done.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry.
Oh my
At
goodness.
this point, I wouldn't be able to imagine what I would feel if I was in Mal's shoes or anyone else's shoes that Saikuno had taken advantage of. In fact, I mean, I can't imagine being his girlfriend, hearing these rumors about someone I lived with in the same home and finding out about it this way, even after he managed to convince me that him sleeping with someone back in December 2025 was a misunderstanding. It's horrifying. This would all lead us to the final section of this document, titled "To All of Saikuno's Victims." Ever since Saikuno's viral breakout during the pandemic lockdowns of 2020 when he played Among Us,
Romantically inexperienced boy failure who looks like an anime character and sounds like one too. I think this is what I need. But unfortunately, sadly, I'm just a romantically inexperienced boy failure and who does not look like or sound like an anime character. That's why I use a VTuber model. But guys, trust me, my face is out there. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not afraid of showing my face. My face is literally not bad. I'd say not bad, but I just preferred it. Why are my eyes like this? Okay, never mind. But yeah, I just like to show myself in this way because this is a character I created and I like my character, okay? But I guess what I lack is an anime character, and I guess what I lack is looking like an anime character and sound like one. But hey, I guess this is what I need to do, huh? This is what I need to attract all the ladies.
2. This perfectly curated image would attract a large audience of women, with a lot of them openly professing how attracted they are to him. He soaked in the praise and never sought to limit the most extreme aspects of his community because it made him more desirable. He understood this and would use this curated image, as well as his legitimacy in the content creation space thanks to his followers and famous friends, to seek out any attractive cosplayers and or content creators that were small enough to be starstruck by his grand presence. It would work most of the time, as he'd use the same calculated pattern that he used with me and Elphilia to lure them in, and eventually fly them out to the next convention or event that he went to with the goal of hooking up. What these many women didn't know, though, is that he'd always lie about the fact that he's single. That behind the scenes, he had a neglected and depressed girlfriend that he'd been with since 2021 and who has lived with him since 2024 in the same house. I implore the many other victims to come out about their experiences with this predator. And I end this document with a recording of Saikuno in which he admits to everything, especially with how he cheated on his girlfriend with my friend and was intending to do that with me as well. For context, this was shortly after I had messaged his girlfriend about his cheating. 30 minutes later, he would ask if I was free for a call. As his girlfriend was crying downstairs, he somehow chose to prioritize someone that he barely met 2 months ago. She's referring to herself. I pointed this out during the call. Here's the link. So the link isn't here right now, but obviously it will be by the time this video comes out. It's okay though, because I have the video. And if you're wondering why you should watch it here, well, it's because Saikuno's voice is so damn low. I mean, the guy was whispering as if someone was after him with a gun, that you could barely tell what he's saying. I actually bothered to add subtitles. This whole recording is 17 minutes long, and as the document stated, he pretty much admits to everything. Watch.
Hello.
Thomas.
Hello.
So,
Well, pretty much know most of it.
yeah, like what?
Know what?
No, you can tell me.
Okay. Well, wasn't very honest.
Oh.
About single.
About what? You have to speak up a little bit. Your mic is cutting out.
Sorry, always happens. About being single, and I just wanted to tell you how everything happened.
Uh-huh. You're still gonna have to speak up a little bit, by the way. You're still cutting out a lot.
Sorry, you know how I talk quietly.
Yeah, but you never talk this quietly.
I'm sad.
It's the actions of your... Well, it's the consequences of your own actions, I suppose.
I know.
Mm,
So basically, I was in a very happy relationship.
doesn't sound like it, but sure.
Well, let me finish.
Uh-huh,
I
continue.
was in a very happy relationship a long time ago.
Long time ago. What, like
And then-
2021?
I don't know the exact time, honestly, but a long time ago. Then it got a lot less happy.
How so?
I don't fully know.
Okay,
She just
so
stopped hanging out with me that much, and
a bad
Hang out with you, she
relationship.
lives with you.
A bad relationship. Okay.
yeah, I mean,
And then he started to
You're
hook
gonna
up
have
with
to speak
other
up.
girls.
I can't hear a single sentence that comes out of your mouth. You there?
yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'm just asking because you went quiet.
Anyway, so I was very, very happy,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point it wasn't so happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly when, but like we stopped spending time together. We hadn't done anything together for years.
Or what? I couldn't hear that part.
I said we hadn't done anything together for like years,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just very sad and alone. Didn't feel wanted at all.
Ah,
Mhm.
so
So you
so the person who has a girlfriend doesn't feel wanted at all. You know, I wonder what it's like to be single for 23 years and feel like no one you're not wanted at all. I wonder. I can only wonder what it's like. But anyways, enough about me. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching.
slept with Alfie in Paris.
Yeah.
And then you flirted with me. And were telling me how you wanted me to come visit you in Vegas, and how you wanted to go on a date, and how you were serious about me, and how you really meant, and how you wanted to go get a cat together.
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Why didn't you just break off the relationship then?
Because a combination of remembering how it was, some part of me hoping it would go back to that, and
Well, obviously it's not gonna go back to that if you're actively cheating on her. It's only gonna get worse. I think that's really on you, bud. And I know you're
Yeah.
smarter than that.
I'm not.
I mean, for fuck's sake, you're a 34-year-old man. Yes, you are. Stop acting like you're a child.
Don't think that's what I'm acting like, but
I mean, you say you're not smarter than that, but you are. You're a 34-year-old man. You just chose to do it. You knew damn
34-year-old
well in the
man
back of
and
your
a
head that
software
wasn't gonna end
engineer.
up well.
34-year-old man and a software engineer, by the way. Calls says I'm not smart enough for that. Like, damn, bro. I never use that for an excuse. I'm just like, yeah, you know what I would say when I make a mistake, when I just say I make dumb decisions, I fuck up. I was in a poor, I don't know. I have no excuses. I usually have no excuses. I just say like, I don't know. I'm I don't know. I'm depressed. Okay, I'm depressed. All right, let's keep watching. Throughout this video, I've been slowly exposing myself like so much, bro. Holy shit. This video has got me exposing myself. Holy sh Ugh.
yeah. But it's complicated.
It's really not.
So.
Cheating is just bad. She hasn't done anything to ask for it to be cheated on. It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, but she relied on me to take care of a lot of things, and I still cared about her.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you do that because you wanted to, not because she was like holding it against you or forcing you to.
No.
Exactly. So there's still no excuse for you to cheat on her.
Not saying there was one. Just explaining why it happened.
The only reason why it happened is because you just chose to do it. I don't know why you decided to lie to me, because you know damn fucking well that lying especially is like a big thing I do not tolerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't get it. Like people saying lying is a big thing I do not tolerate. Like, bro, lying is not a big thing that people shouldn't tolerate. Lying is never acceptable. Like, since when is lying good? The only good lies are white lies. The only lies are good lies are white lies. Every other type of lying is bad. There's no lying is bad is not a personal preference. Okay, nobody would say, "Oh yeah, I love being lied to." Well, my tolerance for lying is decent. I can tolerate lying. No, what do you mean? I tolerate. My tolerance for lying is very low. No, nobody would tolerate lying, bro. Come on, don't act like it's a personal preference.
And I was fine about the Alfie thing, because I was like, okay, he didn't know me before that, right? But then I find out you've had a girlfriend this entire time. Do you realize how fucked up that is? Because not only were you... Because, sure, you didn't lead Alfie on. Alfie acknowledges that you didn't lead her on, right? Because I've talked to Alfie. I'm friends with her. I've been friends with her before I even met you.
Okay.
Like, she acknowledges that you didn't lead her on. You led me on, though. You did lead me on, though.
Dog, I was led on so many times, dog. I wouldn't say so many times. I wouldn't even. You know what? I really don't want to expose people, but like, dog, there were a few instances where I was led on, and yeah. You know what? Let's not make this video about myself. I give up.
Yeah.
You
Well-
gave me all these fancy ass promises about, oh, we're gonna go on a date when you come visit here. What? So you could cheat on your girlfriend again? So you could sleep with me so you could cheat on your girlfriend again?
That wasn't
What were you
what I
intending with that?
wanted. Well, I thought it was going to be over.
But what?
Like I thought that was gonna be the end of that.
The end of what?
My previous relationship.
You were gonna break up with so you could date me, or what?
Well, like I said, it'd been a long time where like we hadn't spent time together. Hadn't done anything in years.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I thought that was at some point be over.
What? I couldn't hear you.
I said, I thought that meant that was going to be like the end of it.
So you were already moving on before you even broke up with her? Were you
Yes.
intending to break up with her, or were you just waiting for her to break up with you?
No, I don't know. It was
So-
just a really weird
I just
mix of like,
want to understand this. So what was your intention with me? Like where was I in this whole thing? Like, were you intending to date me after her? Like, were you intending to just ditch to go date me?
I mean, I guess for me, it felt like it was already. No.
But that's not what I asked.
Right.
I'm talking about me.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
You were thinking to just ditch her and then date me. What, were you gonna do the same thing to me? I'm sorry, but like, you're not really selling this whole relationship thing really well. If this is the type of relationships you uphold.
It's fine.
Oh.
I'm not trying to sell it.
I can tell.
Just trying to explain to you what's going on.
Yeah. The thing is, if I never
Jesus
reached out
Christ.
to Bao, because I didn't even reach out to Bao about you, right?
This
I
is
reached
the
out to Bao about because is lied behind my back to a bunch of people, and
this
I was
is
not
a
okay with that.
humiliation
And
ritual.
then started lying
I
about Bao. That's when I reached out to Bao. I became friends with.
I don't know
women.
why Saikuno agreed to this,
then
but
I was talking
damn,
with
this is
a little bit back and forth, and
Jesus Christ.
then,
I don't
you
even know
came up
how
in a
to feel about
topic.
this.
And then she told me you had a girlfriend, and that your girlfriend has been venting to Bao this entire time about how you gaslight her into staying. You make her feel bad anytime that she like wanted to leave because you cheated on her, and she knew that you cheated on her. She just didn't know who. Because you never told her that it was Elfie, you just told her that you cheated on her in Paris.
How many
think.
victims are
I
there?
don't know if you told her, but I know she knew.
How many victims are there?
Yeah, I did tell him.
Why? Why go through all of this trouble?
Because didn't know how to
I mean, for God's sake, if the only thing why you even stayed with her is because she relied on me for a lot of things, you can afford to take care of her for a little bit before she gets back onto her like her feet. Like, at least don't put her through the trouble of like telling her like, oh, like I'm still gonna be with you, like telling her that you're still her boyfriend while actively cheating on her every single
God,
day.
relationships. Sometimes
you're right. I should have just
I don't know, man. They say
said how I felt.
Like, you could have just dead
I
if
wonder.
the only thing that you were concerned about is the fact that she relied on you for things, you could have just supported her until she got back onto her
I wonder
feet.
if it's better
So
to
she could
have
support
never
herself.
loved at all or to have loved and lost.
You know?
I wonder which one's better. For me, I don't have a choice.
It
I've
wasn't
never
just
loved
that.
at all, so
Then what else?
I can't say which one's better, but I'm
So
not
hoping it would
very happy with
go
my
back
current
to
situation, but
Well, I also
don't worry,
told you
guys.
cheating
I
on her
have
friend would
enough
go back to how it used to be.
medications to make sure
It's
I
a lot easier to say that.
It's the
I have a
truth.
lot of medication to
It's
make
the harsh
sure I
truth. Nothing is gonna go back the same way that it
I
was
can
if you're gonna
function
cheat on someone
regularly every
actively.
day. So don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Well, that's why I'm going to change.
Oh,
You're going
I'm
to
going
change
to
what?
change. I'm going to change. Yeah, that's what they all say. I'm going to
See,
change.
everything.
Oh, I'm
What do
going
you
to
mean
change
everything?
everything about me. I'm going to change. Like what?
Just gonna change.
We're
that.
going to move to a new
You're
city
gonna
and
stay with her?
You're right.
like what?
Because honest to God, I feel like the poor girl's been through enough. I don't think you should have to sit there and keep doing this to her. Because I was in a group chat with her while you were on stream. And this girl's absolutely fucking distraught because of the shit that you've done to her. The shit that you've put her through. Like, genuinely. Do you know how much that fucks someone up?
Yeah. I mean, love
Like, you
bombing,
already
leading
cheated on her
people
once,
on.
and she decided to trust you still.
These are
She
just
decided to stay with you
messed up,
despite the fact that you already had
messed
cheated
up.
on her and admitted to it. And what do? You go onto Twitter and go find the next girl to flirt with.
Ugh.
And if anything, honest to God, I'm not even mad at this point. I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed.
Yep, that's fair.
Because she's been crying to Bao about it. Bao's been sitting there, like, comforting this girl, trying to tell her, hey, maybe you should leave him. Because this isn't okay. This really isn't okay. You're putting this girl through mental strain.
He is. He is putting this girl through
Every
mental
single day.
strain. Every single day, exactly.
But you continue to be with her.
I don't know. I
While you're
would
sitting
just
there
leave
having
this.
fun playing with your friends. Be so honest right now, Thomas.
Thomas, huh? Thomas. Let's be honest, Thomas. Let's be so for real right now, Thomas. Let's be for real, Thomas.
And you might be right.
Yeah. Like, if it is money that she doesn't have, or if it's a job, or if it's family, or blah 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 blah.
Gave her a lot.
Yeah, well, there, exactly. Just help her back on her feet until she can support herself, and then just leave the girl alone. Because she deserves better than that. Because you cannot sit there and be like, I love her, but do all of this shit to her, and continue to let her stay in that situation.
Well, one part of that wasn't true.
One part of that wasn't true. Bro
What?
is still trying to justify himself. Just
I think the feelings faded.
the feelings
You
faded?
should just let her go.
The feelings faded is crazy. The feelings faded is crazy. I'm
Instead of just sitting there
faded.
wasting her time.
Bro thinks he's Alan Walker out here. What the hell?
Well,
Are you gonna
Also,
apologize?
she's on a call with me when right now she's upset.
Are you gonna
I know she loves
apologize, Saikuno? Are you know you're being recorded?
to her.
Yeah, you should be
And I
there to.
told her I'm going to talk to you first.
You should be there to comfort her. She's the one that you cheated on.
I don't think that's
Well,
called
I
comfort. I think
know
that's
it's
called
ridiculous. I just
admitting to your mistakes and
wanted to say
apologize.
this first.
This is not settled. I'm beyond upset with you. Like,
Settle.
genuinely.
I want to settle this first. Oh my god. Settle is a crazy word to use.
That's
Settle is a crazy
fine.
word to
By
use.
settled, I mean like that's it. Like
What's it?
That's
probably never talking again.
You and me?
Yes.
What? Why?
Is that not why?
What is why? I'm still upset with you, but you didn't cheat on me. You can still
What?
talk to me and be like, make up for your actions. Don't get me wrong, because I always am there for second chances. But I never will forgive you for cheating on her. That's that.
Wait, I'm confused.
There are a lot of girls that are upset with you, by the way, because Alfie's not the only one that has hit me up.
A lot of girls. A lot of girls.
That sounds like you've heard things.
Yeah.
Heard
you
things
lied
is
to me
crazy.
about
Heard
that.
things is crazy. Bro, oh my goodness. Oh my god.
A lot. Because how big was the roster again?
How big was her roster?
I don't
How
think I
big?
ever had one of those.
I think I've ever had one of those. Is crazy. Bro is straight up lying. Bro is straight up lying. Oh my goodness. What the? Huh?
Suppose so.
Oh my god. Bro is just capping. Capping on the capping. No for
I like that
capping
about
on
it now.
capping.
Is okay?
Oh my
Keep
goodness.
me updated on that.
Oh my god. Just apologize and hang up,
I don't know
Saikuno.
if that's a possibility.
Oh my, it's
Keep me
over for you,
updated.
Saikuno. He needs to
Keep
be
me updated
cancelled.
when she moves out.
He needs to be cancelled immediately. He needs to have everything be taken away from him.
I don't
Goodness
think-
gracious.
I mean, yeah, I care about her.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Like,
she can do that.
true. I'll just reach out to her then. But, yeah, no, just. Like, you go talk to her. She needs you right now.
Yeah, go talk to her, Saikuno. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, bye.
Bye, Thomas.
Bye, Thomas. Holy smokes.
Shortly after the call, the last thing Mal would ever say to Saikuno would be, "I'm beyond disappointed in you." So look, according to Mal, there are countless other victims. It is completely up to them on whether they want to come out
Countless
and tell the story or
other
not. For now, though, we
victims.
can confirm
Countless
there's
other
two
victims.
different people
What the
that were
heck?
completely misled by him as he cheated on his girlfriend so comfortably. In those two instances, we can see him also using the same playbook, the same tactics, sending them money, making them feel special, following their personal Instagram, wanting to meet ASAP, to hook up, everything. And I think one thing that personally struck me was how only 30 minutes after his girlfriend found out about his cheating and probably confronted him, he chose to run upstairs and prioritize Mal, someone he met 2 months ago, all while his girlfriend was crying downstairs, gutted, heartbroken. There's a reason people say with great power comes great responsibility, because once you have this power that Saikuno possessed, you can so easily take advantage of others. So as a content creator, you have a very clear choice, and unfortunately, Saikuno decided to be the worst person possible. I wish all the victims in this travesty the absolute best, and I also encourage them to speak out. When it rains, it pours. And right now, the first drop has hit the ground. Saikuno and anyone else who seeks to take advantage of their position need to be held accountable. And for anyone who grew up watching him during quarantine, who looked up to him, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, ruining whatever ideal image you had of him in your head. In any case, if more victims decide to speak out, then I will most likely stream me reading all of them on my channel later on.
Read all of them.
Go, please,
Read all of
whenever
them.
your content
Please.
reaches out to you, even if you don't make content, please always be extremely skeptical and know that they probably don't see you as the most special person in the world. They've probably done this to many others already. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really, really appreciate it. If you want a healthy alternative to an energy drink, then definitely use the code MUJIN at Gamer.
Thomas the Predator Engine. Oh my goodness. Alright, I think the conclusion is, listen, I gotta put this out there. Friends can lead you on. Friends can sext you. There's literally this thing called friends with benefits. The clear border between a friend and a partner is incredibly blurry and ambiguous. So always determine the relationship. Always make sure you both are on the same page. Because I have had experiences where literally I thought, and then I had to fuck around and find out and get my heart broken. But with that being said, I hope Saikuno absolutely gets destroyed. I hope everything he's earned get taken away from him. I hope he never recovers. Just like Santi Devil from IDV. I hope... I don't understand. Why does every popular content creator becomes either a pedophile, a predator, a cheater, or whatever? Like, I don't understand. Maybe I will understand one day. No, not saying I will become one, but maybe I will understand when I become big and famous. But we don't know if that's ever gonna come true. But thank you all for watching. This is a very big drama. I used to watch Sykkuno, not that much, but I do know who he is. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and if you've made it this far, I appreciate you for watching. Bye bye.